Hello. I was thinking, I think it's really important to get the word out that we are all the same under the skin, if you like. We're all one family, the human race, and just because we look different from each other, well, that's the way we would distinguish each other, isn't it? We wouldn't know who anybody was if we all looked exactly the same. So we have to celebrate those differences and the fact that we can recognise each other as individuals and that we can then remember each other again because we have a little store of characteristics that are tucked away there in our subconscious, and we recognise somebody again because they look different. They look different from ourselves, and each person looks different from each other. And of course, the other thing is that we all believe different things. But I don't see that is an insurmountable obstacle to friendship or love even. Quite often couples, for instance, live together and have absolutely opposing views on almost everything, but on certain things they are committed to each other on, and that's sufficient. And I think that we ought to celebrate those differences of opinion, and even differences of faith. Because in the end, as we know, at least all of us spiritualists know and agree, I think I shall sit down now, I've done enough. I've done enough walking about. We all agree that that we should understand that we are all spirit within bodies. As good old St. Paul said, we are vessels for our spirit, and the bodies themselves don't really count for much. Well, they do actually, but we all like our bodies. We need them to move about in this world in some way, and to experience this life. But of course, our inner self, our spirit, is what really matters, and that's with what we connect with the next person, their spirit within, and of course that brings me to the fact that some of us are not terribly well some of the time. And we need some boosting of prayers and support from others, whether it's physical kind of support in the sense of nursing, doctoring, surgeoning, all that sort of thing, mentoring, teaching. We also need spiritual upliftment. And that can come to us in many different ways. It can come to us in the great outdoors, where nobody else is around us for miles, or it can come to us when we're in a crowd of people or with our families and friends. We can have that quiet feeling of spiritual satisfaction. Spiritual satisfaction is something that is so important, because if somebody is not satisfied spiritually, it leads them into all kinds of misery, and it causes people to do dreadful things to themselves and to other people. And therefore it is very important to keep those spirits up and nourish people's spiritual selves, and perhaps show people how to live life to the full by sustaining and nourishing their spirit, their spirit within their body. So whatever state or condition the body's in, their spirit can still lift itself and enjoy life. And what of those who are ill? So many suffer in different ways. Of course, we're all ill at some time or other. And for those who are suffering today, and we should send out a prayer of supplication, asking for them to be healed and for them to feel comfort and upliftment within themselves and in their spirit, and for their body to be repaired and mended and looked after by those who we call ministering angels. And particularly for those who are struggling with cancerous conditions and other dreadful diseases that afflict all of humankind, unfortunately. And we ask at this time, and it doesn't have to be some kind of posh prayer. You can just from the heart, just sort of open your heart and just send out those thoughts and think of those loved ones or that loved one who is suffering, and just ask for some help. And that help they will get, that I can assure you. And it doesn't matter what religion they are either, or what background, which comes back to the same thing again. We are all different, but in that difference, we are all the same, because we all belong to the Great Spirit. We're all part of that divine spirit. And the sooner we all recognise that, the better. And it will do away with a lot of the hurt and hatreds that are stalking the world. So I would like to just say a prayer. Dear Lord, please look after all our loved ones and their loved ones too, even those we don't know, and give them the gift of happiness and health and healing and comfort, that they should feel happy within themselves and uplifted, and that their pain should be eased, and help them, Lord, to see that we are all going to be all right in the end, whatever happens. And we ask all of these things, dear Lord, in the name of love and truth and light. Amen. Well, that's. I would also like to say a few names for a Carol, a June, an Eileen. Now I must get this name right. I shall go and see. I wrote it down just to make sure. Yes, her name is Remsia Mustafa, and she needs special prayers at this time. And for her family too, who are worried about her. And like I said, it doesn't matter what background, heritage or faith people belong to, or none come to that. We can ask for them to be helped and healed and comforted. And well, there we are. I hope that you've enjoyed this little chat with me, and me wandering across. Well, wandering would be appropriate. And everything is quiet here, and I hope that things are quiet around you and calm, and if they're not at the moment, that they will be. And I wish you very well, and hope that you've enjoyed our little chat there. Goodbye for now. Bye.